It's the Fort Hays State University Coaches Show on Eagle Community Television, brought to you by Eagle Communications.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another edition of Tiger Talk. This is Gerard Welbrock, and we'll be joined once again in the program by head women's coach Tony Hobson and head men's coach Mark Johnson. Both teams coming off a rugged 4-game and 8-day stretch. They wrapped it up with a couple of road games in their longest road trip of the year. They were in the St. Louis area on Thursday, taking on Lindenwood. The women get a hard-fought win. The men come up short to the Red Hot Lions. And then Saturday in the Missouri capital of Jefferson City, and both the men and women pick up grinding victories over Lincoln University. Now get set for a 4-game home stretch, which begins Thursday night against Central Oklahoma. Tiger Talk, again presented by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill at 3203 Vine in Hays. They have the best steaks around. Check them out, locally owned and operated, Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, where the fire's always burning. We'll take our first break. When we come back, we'll talk with head women's coach Tony Hobson. It's straight ahead right here on Tiger Talk.
Hi, I'm Gerard Welbrock, voice of the Fort Hays State Tigers, inviting you to join me for Tiger Talk. Airs Monday nights from 6 until 6:30 on Tiger Radio Mix 103, and then the video replay on Eagle Cable Channel 14 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Preview the last game and look ahead to the next week's action on Tiger Talk. Monday night, 6 till 6:30 on Tiger Radio Mix 103 and on Eagle Cable Channel 14.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Welbrock, joined now by head women's coach Tony Hobson. The Lady Tigers on a 13-game winning streak. They're 14-1 after a pair of wins on the road at Lindenwood on Thursday and then Lincoln on Saturday. Tiger Talk again presented by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill at 3203 Vine in Hays. And Coach, congratulations. You go 7-0 against the East Division. That's never an easy task. And we talked a lot about this stretch after the Christmas break, 4 games in 8 days. You go 4-0, got to be pretty happy. Can't do much better.
I thought our kids reacted well coming back from the break. We knew that it would be not only just a mental test of getting back and playing on a daily basis, but a physical test too, because we were back about for 4 days of practice, and then we played a couple quick games with a 1-day turnaround, and then had 1 day of practice and got back on the bus and had our longest trip of the year. So it was a test for us, and I thought overall I thought our kids reacted well and came through it in good shape.
Well, Thursday, the win at Lindenwood certainly wasn't easy, and you knew it wouldn't be. They beat Washburn on their home floor, and even though their conference mark isn't real glossy, they played a lot of good teams really close, and you could certainly see by their team on Thursday they've got a nice little squad and one of the better players in the league, the reigning freshman of the year. And a good first half, but I thought a really good second half, and you commented after the game on the energy your team had. And that's not always easy on the road like that, but they really brought it and had a lot of different people really step up in that game.
Well, I really like what I'm seeing out of Carrie Ann Shaw. She's being way more aggressive offensively and not afraid to take a 15, 16-footer and shooting very well from that distance. And as a result, she's had a couple of double-doubles for us here after Christmas, and taking a little bit of the offensive burden off of Kate Lehman because she's drawing so much attention. So the first half, I thought Lindenwood, it was decent, but the second half I thought was an excellent half for us.
And you're seeing a lot of, we've talked about it, teams that you've never seen zone in 7 years in the MIAA all of a sudden are now playing a lot of zone defense, obviously, because of Kate Lehman. It seems like your team has reacted. Kate's done a good job of not forcing the issue. And then, as you mentioned, a player like Carrie Ann, Paige Lunsford stepping up, taking that open shot, something they maybe wouldn't have done a year ago.
Exactly. I think they're just a little more comfortable playing a bigger role and getting more experience, and knowing that if they don't, that we're not going to score. The one thing about Kate, you say she hasn't been forcing it, and you're right, but when you don't get the ball, you can't really force it, and they are so she's not tempted like a guard might be, but at the same time, she knows when she needs to try to go ahead and score and when she needs to kick it out. And I know it can get frustrating for a player like her when the other team's primary focus is to take her out of the game and then see if the rest of us can go ahead and perform and beat them. So you have to take your hat off to Kate, because she's being very patient and keeping our primary goal in mind, and that is to win the game regardless of where the points go and where the rebounds go and where the recognition goes. We just don't care. We just want to win the game.
And that being said, you look at the end of the day, she's still getting pretty solid numbers. So it's funny how those things throughout the course of the game do even out. Other people step up, teams have to readjust, and it seems like down the stretch, Kate's able to do what we've seen her do for so long.
Well, I think sometimes when teams make all of these adjustments for us, that it also it can mess them up a little bit too, doing something they're not accustomed to doing. A team that's usually a man team tries to play zone. I know I've been through that before, and you usually aren't very sharp at it. So, even though people are doing these different things and playing zone and matching up and double team and all this, it still hasn't been effective enough to completely take us out of it so they can beat us. And that's the main thing. We are going to have to start shooting the ball better if we're going to beat some of these top teams, but we're capable. We just, when you're on the road, sometimes the ball just will not go in the basket, and so we're going to have to shoot the ball better.
Well, the Tigers found a way to beat Lindenwood. We'll talk a little bit about the Lincoln victory and then look ahead to a big weekend starting on Thursday. Central Oklahoma and the Broncos with just one conference loss, and then a very solid Northeastern State team coming to town on Saturday. Again, the program brought to you today by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill at 3203 Vine. More with head coach Tony Hobson right after the break on Tiger Talk. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Welbrock, head women's coach Tony Hobson. It's all brought to you by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill at 3203 Vine, where the fire's always burning. Great appetizers, great steak, a lot of great menu items, and of course the quick and easy lunch. They'll get you in and out in a hurry so you can get back to work, all at Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine, where the fire's always burning. Tigers wrapping up the 4 games in 8 days Saturday with a hard-fought 8-point win at Lincoln. I thought the Blue Tigers played inspired. It was a tough day shooting, but you found a stretch in that second half. The game's still in the balance. I think you had a couple of possessions. Nikki got a few steals. You got a few fast break baskets, and then you hit a couple of three-pointers, and it gave you enough separation to get a hard-fought win.
Well, I'll tell you, we were in a fight for that one, that's for sure. And you're right when you say that they played well. I thought they had a good plan, and they had a lot of threes go in. So that's the difference. I mean, you have to have the ball go through the basket, and they have some good three-point shooters. I thought what we were able to do basically was just stay within striking distance until we could find some way to score, and we never let them get really more than 3 or 4 points ahead, if that, a couple times. So our defense kind of kept us there, and then we had about a 5-minute stretch where we won the game in the second half, and that was really sparked by Nikki. Defensively, she made a couple big plays. We got in the open floor and got a couple easy baskets, and then Chelsea finally hit a couple shots. She'd been struggling, and she hit a couple. She hit a 3 and then a baseline jumper that kind of stretched it out, and we got a 6 or 7 point lead, and were able to finish them off.
Well, a nice win for the Lady Tigers. It runs their winning streak to 13. They go 7-0 against the East, and now begin play against the West Division, which should be a cakewalk when you look at it really on paper. You have Emporia State, Pittsburgh State, Washburn all nationally ranked, and you start on Thursday against Central Oklahoma. They're 6-1 in the conference. I mean, it'd be hard pressed to find another division of teams in anywhere in the country in Division II, maybe as challenging as this stretch going through the West Division of the MIAA.
Well, after the West versus East games, it's 37 wins on the West side and 12 on the East. So that's how much our league is tilted just from one division to the other. So we're just getting into the real meat of our schedule and playing. We're playing Central Oklahoma Thursday, who's lost once, in the conference, or 6-1, and they're not even in the conversation, and not that they shouldn't be, but they aren't. Ourselves, Pitt State, Emporia State, them. You always have Washburn. Northeastern's 4-3. I mean, you just our division is very difficult, and we get to play everybody twice. So we just have to be on our toes and just be ready, because it's going to get down and dirty on Thursday. I mean, it's crunch time. We have to play better than we have been.
And probably importance, and maybe more so for you guys this time around, because it is at home.
Exactly. We need to make sure we protect our home floor, because we end the season on a three-game road trip, and that includes the 2 Oklahoma schools. So, you know, just every win is critical, and Thursday is the most important game of the year for us, because it's our next game, and that's kind of how we always look at it. We can't look forward or backwards. We just kind of look right in front of us and try to deal with what we have coming up in our next game.
Well, it's been an exciting run so far, and now it really gets fun as the conference race gets down to the in-division games, and it should be a lot of fun starting Thursday night against the Broncos. Coach, as always, we appreciate the time. Best of luck, and we'll see you Thursday night.
Okay, thanks, Gerard.
That is head coach Tony Hobson of the Fort Hays State Lady Tigers. Again, they'll play at 5:30. The men will follow at 7:30 on Thursday against Central Oklahoma. And then Northeastern State, the Riverhawks in town for a 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock doubleheader on Saturday. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk with men's coach Mark Johnson. It's straight ahead right here on Tiger Talk. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Walbrock and head men's coach Mark Johnson joining us now. The program brought to you again by the fine folks at Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill. They've got a lot of great new entrees on the menu. Of course, always have the great steaks and some outstanding appetizers as well. So check them out at 3203 Vine and Hayes. It's Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, where the fire's always burning. Tiger men, like the women, completing that rugged 4-game and 8-day stretch. A couple of road games, longest trips of the year for the Tigers, at Lindenwood last Thursday, Saturday at Lincoln. Get the split, and I guess after the tough outing on Thursday night against a red-hot Lindenwood team that's playing about as well as anybody at the MIAA right now, nice to see your team play well, kind of put all that behind them and get a really nice win against Lincoln on Saturday.
Yeah, you know, I thought we played hard both games. Lindenwood, I thought we gave good defensive effort. I mean, we just didn't have an answer for them. I mean, like you said, I think they've won 5 in a row. That's 5 straight games. They're shooting in the mid-50s from the three-point line, over 50% from the field. I mean, so they're really, really playing well. They're a big team, and we just kind of were in a funk offensively. Thought, against Lincoln, we really, again, played hard, executed what we needed to do. Didn't necessarily play great on offense, but, found enough to get a win. It had been easy with the struggles we've had here to play in those 4 games in that 8-day stretch to not be ready to play against Lincoln. I thought our guys did a great job of trying to compete and make sure we got that win.
You know, we talked a lot before the game and going into this trip, kind of gut check time, especially after losing the 2 games. And then your team showed some heart, and obviously they want to be successful and they want to have a good year, and that still is out there ahead of them. But it was good to see them fight through all of that and come out with the proper mental aspect as much as anything.
Yeah, I mean, you go into that game, I mean, you talk about the perfect storm of, you let a heartbreaker get away from you at home, you go on the road and you lose pretty handily at Lindenwood. You're at the back end of a 4-day road trip, plus it's your 4th game in 8 days, and everything was set up there for failure, and thought our guys did a great job of not letting that happen and playing the way we needed them to play, and I know we needed to feel good about ourselves coming home and getting prepared for these big games this week.
Well, you certainly did that, and offensively, and we've talked about it, this team has a chance to do some good things, yet there are some deficiencies there, and it kind of felt like on Saturday maybe starting to figure out a little bit about how to play, when to attack, when to work the ball a little bit more to get a better shot. You feeling a little bit better about that aspect of it?
Yeah, I mean, we just, we're a team that's not going to get a ton of easy baskets. We don't have necessarily a tremendous post back to the basket post player, take it to the, rim, put, score right around the rim. Even Dom's more of a face-up guy at times, and then you look at our perimeter, we're probably more of a, Craig's really the only true guy that gets to the rim a lot. So we don't have an opportunity for a lot of easy baskets. So we have to get some defensive stops to allow Craig and the rest of our team to get in transition so we can get some easy baskets. And we've struggled to get enough stops. And, then we just need to start shooting the ball a little better. I mean, we're going to have to rely on jump shots a lot. And it's kind of that fine line. We don't want to shoot it too quick because we're not the most powerful offensive team. But at the same time, if you hold it and you're playing at the end of the clock where you got to make a lot of plays to go score, we're a little limited in that area too. So we got to kind of play that in-between game, and I thought our guys did a fairly good job against Lincoln with that.
And defensively, I mean, it seems like the effort's been there, and it seems like that's slowly starting to get better each and every time out.
I think since we've been back from Christmas, we've really played well. I mean, at the end of the day, what comes down to us at times, even when we're playing good defense, is we're not very big at certain positions. We're not the biggest, most athletic team at the 4 position at times. We can get overwhelmed there. And then, when we're playing James and Achoki and Craig out there, we're pretty small. Even Lindenwood, I thought we played pretty good defense. You're guarding 6'4" guys, they just shoot right over you. So, I mean, we have some deficiencies there, but I think we're really trying, and we're getting better at it. And like I said, I've been pleased with our defensive effort. Hopefully we can continue to do that the rest of the year.
Well, the Tigers open up a 4-game home stretch now. It begins on Thursday night, a big one with the Broncos of Central Oklahoma. We'll talk about that and more when we return. Our final segment of Tiger Talk comes your way right after this break. Welcome back to Tiger Talk, our final segment of the program tonight. Of course, brought to you by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine, where the fire's always burning. Check them out for their catering service or the banquet room in back. If you have a bigger function, you need more space, they can certainly accommodate you at Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill. Talk about the weekend here in just a little bit, but first, Dom Sommit's a guy, had a pretty good game on Saturday. Thursday was really kind of a no-show. Seems like he's kind of the key, especially on the offense, really both sides of the ball, but offensively, if he can give you what he did, about 12.7 rebounds, that obviously makes you a much better team on that end of the floor.
Oh, no question. I mean, he's another option offensively that we really have to have. He's had, not many, but he's had 1 or 2 times where just mentally he wasn't where we needed to be, and then he's just a hard luck guy on officials. It's the craziest thing. I mean, even against Lincoln, he just seems to really have a hard time avoiding foul trouble, and some of it. You feel bad for him. He's just at the wrong place at the wrong time, getting a tough whistle. So, you look at some of our games, he hasn't got enough minutes. He's averaging 10 points a game, and he doesn't get to play enough a lot of times just because he's in foul trouble. So he's a guy we need to play well the rest of the way and avoid foul trouble and really be ready to play. I think, Jeremy Wilson and Drew Kite have really given us good energy now. They're not guys that are going to go get you a lot of points sometimes. I know Jeremy scored 13, but I think those 2 guys have really given us a lift just from the defensive standpoint, a rebounding standpoint, and an activity standpoint. So if we can get Dom going with those 2 guys and Royce and James and all those guys start shooting it a little better, you feel like you got an opportunity to win some games.
And you really kind of wait for James Fleming to evolve and kind of shine here down the stretch. He really did in the second half a year ago, and certainly capable, and we've seen what he can do. It just hasn't quite happened yet.
Yeah, we've just, we haven't shot the ball at times as well as we'd like of late since we've been back from Christmas, but hopefully that'll come around. I think, like I said, our defensive side is getting better. We just need to, if we can get back playing offense a little bit like we did at the beginning of the year, we were shooting the ball a little better than we are now. And, if that happens, good things will happen. You got to be able to do both. You're not going to win in this league just by playing defense and not being able to make shots, or just making shots and not playing defense. I mean, these teams are too good and too capable. So we got to get it together on both ends, and I think we're getting closer.
Well, you're 3-4 through the East Division. Now you'll begin interdivision play with the West side, and obviously it's a challenge every year, but as frustrating as at times it has been, you're 2 games back with Northwest Missouri State losing, so still a lot to play for, and everything out there is still ahead of you, and really a tough one at home to get back home on Thursday night. Central Oklahoma, they've been so good for many, many years, and playing very, very good again this year.
Yeah, I mean, Terry Evans does a great job down there. I mean, they're in a place where they're going to have good players every year. I think they get the pick of the litter as far as Division II and Oklahoma kids. And again, another first-place team. They're a big team, not necessarily by height. I mean, they have height, but, I mean, they're just big physical guys. I mean, most of their guys look like they're a little bit older and things like that. So, I mean, the physicalness of the game we're going to have to be able to handle. And then, obviously, they've always been a good offensive team and shoot the ball well. And they'll probably junk it up and play a lot of mix and match, some different types of zones and things like that. So he's going to make us make some jump shots. And hopefully, again, that's the game we can break out of minor shooting slump and make some shots.
Well, last year during the regular season anyway, you played well against them, and hopefully that can continue. This has really kind of developed into a rivalry going back before they even joined the MIAA with some of the NCAA tournament games, and now that they're in the conference, they've all been hard-fought and very good games. It kind of has, even though it's a short one, a bit of a rivalry.
Yeah, it seems like every time we've gone to the NCAA tournament, we've had to play them either in the first or second round. And, you go back to last year, I know, after we beat them here, he kind of was like, well, we've given you two. Hopefully we won't give you the third one in the conference. So we really probably stole those two games and had no business winning them. So, we'll have to come to play, and hopefully we have a little bit of luck on our side again like we did last year against them, and we have the opportunity to win because this would be a big weekend. We got really a big 4-game stretch, three conference in our last non-conference here. The last 2 weeks, we got to have some type of success on these 2-week stretch because after that, we're on the road for most of the season.
All right, Mark, as always, we appreciate the time. Have a good week of practice, and we'll see you Thursday night at the Coliseum.
All right, thank you.
That is head coach Mark Johnson. Again, Fort Hays State at home Thursday. It's Central Oklahoma, 5:30 for the women, 7:30 for the men. And then Saturday afternoon, Northeastern State comes to town for a 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock doubleheader. That's going to wrap up the program. Certainly hope you enjoyed it, and we appreciate our fine sponsors for making it all possible. Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, the Taco Shop, G&L Tire and Automotive, Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, Adams, Brown, Barron and Ball, Couture for Men and Women, James Motor Company, BTI, and of course, Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine, where the fire's always burning. For women's coach Tony Hobson, men's coach Mark Johnson, this is Gerard Welbrock saying so long on Tiger Talk.
It's the Fort Hays State University Coaches Show on Eagle Community Television, brought to you by Eagle Communications.